Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. We have got a marvellous little story here you may not have seen, mainly because it's in the National, and only us idiots actually have to get past the paywall. But I do this for you because it's worth it. Furious MPs, apparently, these are Conservative MPs, really unhappy at an election being called, and they're working to get it called off. They still have a few days left. It's called the wash-up period after it's been announced. But, of course, until Rishi Sunak actually goes to the King and asks for it to be dissolved, the Parliament is still there. The moment the King gives his consent, at that moment, boom, Parliament is dissolved. He has not done that yet because they have this wash-up period where they decide what laws that are going through get abandoned, boom, and what ones that can be run through quickly on the nod they put through. And it's a very bad time because sometimes some very terrible stuff goes through on the nod because there isn't enough time to fully talk about it. But anyway, that's a different video for a different day. The point is, Parliament's still there. There are still a few days. And these Tory MPs are desperate to get the letters in to the 1922 committee in order to have and force a leadership contest. And get that done, because the moment that goes in, Rishi Sunak ceases to be the leader and he has to fight for his position. It means a temporary leader goes in and a temporary leader can announce that there will be no general election and can go to the King and say, I'm sorry, we called this, things have happened, things have changed, we're getting rid of Rishi and we're going to carry on until November and or whenever. Now, I'll be up front and say I think it's got very little chance of getting through, but nonetheless, it is a damn wonderful story, and I think we absolutely need to look at it. So let's look at it. Here goes. I mean, there is so much going on already, and it's only day one of the campaign. It's going to be cracking. There's 42 more days of this. Anyway, furious Tory MPs working on a plot to call off the snap general election. A group of furious Tory MPs are reportedly working on a plot to call it off. Rishi Sunak announced yesterday that the election would be held on July the 4th, a move the First Minister said showed contempt for Scots, as it marks the first week of the summer holidays. Well, no, it doesn't really show contempt. What it shows is desperation. Desperation, of course, by Rishi Sunak. He knew that there's a lot of letters going in. He knew his position was precarious, and so he thought if he calls the general election now, he won't be ousted in time for it. He thought he could get through, and he'd rather lose the election and resign with dignity than be hoved out, much like Boris and Liz Truss, both of them before him. I think he deserves to be hoved out, the backstabbing two-faced little tit. But anyway, we told on Wednesday how letters of no confidence were reportedly being sent in, as I just said, against the Prime Minister before he announced the date of the election in desperation. Writing on Twitter, or X, GB News' political editor Christopher Hope said, wow, extraordinary, but true. Furious Conservative MPs are tonight working on a plot to call off the general election by replacing Rishi Sunak as leader before Parliament is dissolved next Thursday. We have a week then. One rebel Tory MP tells me he believes several more letters of no confidence in Sunak have been submitted to the 1922 chairman, Sir Graham Brady. I do hope so. This would really put the cat among the pigeons. This would be a stunning revelation if they could do that. The senior Conservative MP told me today has clearly been an absolute disaster, but the election is not irrevocable. Up until the point of dissolution of Parliament, when the writs are moved to begin the contests, it can still be aborted. In other words, he says, if enough Tory MPs who are clearly going to lose their seats in this already utterly shambolic campaign write to Sir Graham Brady, tomorrow the election could still be revoked. Speaking to GB News on Thursday morning, the PM said he chose to call an election earlier than expected, and he said because the economy has turned a corner. And that sounds surprisingly very similar to a huge pile of steaming bullshit. What this was called for was because there was so many letters of no confidence in Rishi Sunak flying in to the 1922 committee. We all know it. He knows we know it. And then he tells that lie and expects us to swallow what he's stepping in. Don't think so, mister. He says, I think after a few difficult years, I'm pleased the economic stability is now returning to the country. He said, yeah, but we know it's a lie. He said, we've just seen that inflation has returned to normal. The economy is growing at a healthy rate again. Wages have been rising sustainably for several months now. And although I do not know, I know not everyone is feeling the full benefit of that yet, it's clear we've turned a corner. If it's so clear we've turned the corner, then why not wait a few months for the interest rates to drop, for people to see the money in their pocket, to see the economy picking up? The feel-good would be great. But no. He's too desperate for that. He needs to call it now, because he knows that he hasn't got a few months left in the role. He's finished. They all know it. All those Tory backbenchers sitting there, knowing that they're going to lose their seats, and looking at Rishi Sunak at the back of his head and thinking, well, buyer's remorse, isn't it? They put him in and go, oh, no, we should have done that. Well, you shouldn't have got rid of Boris, you idiots. Anyway, he says, so now is the moment to look to the future, and the world is clearly in a more uncertain place than it has been in decades. And the question for the country is, this choice of election is, who has got the boldest ideas, the clearest plan to provide a secure future for you and your family? Well, it ain't you, mate. You're running from pillar to post, from desperation to chaos. You don't know what you're doing. Then yesterday, the Euro guy always plays out and always, I'm pro-Europe, ban Brexit, reverse Brexit. I can't think of Steve Welsh, idiot man, always banging drums and whatever. He was the one that was playing Things Can Only Get Better. And there's Rishi standing in the rain. And I saw one wag put up there, Things Can Only Get Wetter. I thought, very good. But yeah, he is done, isn't he? And if they can reverse this, though, it would not only do him, he'd be out and finished, but it would be the most humiliating way to go. He'd be shown as being so desperate to throw a general election to try and save his own skin, that even then, the party would say, no, we would rather throw you out than lose an election. They know they're going to lose, but they want to throw him out first, just to rub it in. It's cracking, isn't it? Anyway, Roundup will come up. A sad little man at the end of his political career. All he's got to look forward to now is living in America with his tax-free billions. It's right for some, innit? In the way out, though, he ain't off screwing everything up. So, yeah, I do think that these guys need to get those letters in. Make a point of it. Throw him out. Make him sit and lick his own wounds. Get on that plane and sod off. He won't be missed. It's like a bad fart, isn't it? He dissipates and then you go, oh, thank God that's gone. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Do please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment. Please share the video. And I will speak to you later. Bye.